I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about how we approach estate planning and how effective estate planning can be good for our clients now and throughout their lifetime and into working with the heirs that they have. If you think about estate planning, estate planning, eh, it's a topic that I think we talk about that most people really don't even understand what it should entail. And if we look at estate planning, the planning is based on our clients' goals. Everything that they do has to start with their goals. I've had clients in the future that have came in and asked me, well, what's the best way to set up an estate plan? Well, if you want the best estate plan I can do, it's mine because I know my goals. I know what I'm trying to accomplish. So the first part of any estate planning process is working with our clients to understand what their goals, whether that's, for their retirement, their legacy that they want to pass on, taking care of their long-term care and family needs or creating lifestyle needs. All of this is encompassed in their estate plan. When I look at, what a proper plan includes, it starts with the goals. Then we have to look at who we're going to focus on. And each stage of the planning process, we have to focus on the who. So first part is planning for you. So if I have a client in front of me today, I'm planning for them first. I have to make sure that this plan takes care of their needs and takes care of their needs from today through the end of their life. So the younger they are, the more we have to focus on making sure those plans can account for each stage of their life. Well, after I've taken care of them and have the plan in place for them, now I can start planning for their loved ones. Who do they want to benefit? Who do they want to take care of? Do they have a spouse? Do they have kids? Do they have grandkids? Do they want to go out to extended family? Whoever that is, we're going to start planning for the loved ones, the heirs. And we have to help them define who their heirs are so we understand who their heirs are. Because they may be looking at this as, yes, I have kids, but I want to do more. Once we've taken care of the loved ones, now we're going to plan for others. So if they've come in and said, hey, we've taken care of ourselves, we've taken care of our loved ones, but we want to plan for others, that could be charitable, that could be friends or other relatives, whoever they want to plan for. But we have to focus on each group to make sure each group is properly taken care of. Now, when we start going through and figuring out, you know, their goals, now we know who they're going to plan for at each stage. Now we can start coming up with the documentation. And I can tell you this, estate planning is more than just documents. It takes a lot of thought and planning to get everything organized the right way, their goals, their objectives, the who, the why. The documents is just the memorialization of that plan. Now, having the correct documents is crucial because I've seen people that have gone down to their local office store and filled in the blanks on a form. Well, is that going to actually work to get them where they want to be? Maybe, maybe not. And this is one, are we working on planning or do we just roll the dice and hope it happens? And just pulling a form books out and filling in the blanks is rolling the dice. It's going to Vegas and let the dice go and see what happens. So as we look at our estate planning, we need to help our clients understand it's not just the documents. It's the right documents to memorialize their goals, objectives, and what legacy they want to move on. When we start looking at estate planning, and sometimes I don't like the word estate planning as much as I like legacy planning. What is it that you're trying to accomplish now and through the entirety of the use of your assets for you and your loved ones? And if you think about where we're going to start, we need to have an umbrella over all of our planning. And I like to look at this as our basic planning. I don't care if you're worth $1 or $1 billion. You have to get this fundamental estate planning in place and make sure that encompasses is that umbrella to cover everything. It doesn't mean we're going to stop here. It means we're going to continue to do more planning based on your assets and situation. So if I'm looking at a plan and I'm looking at the properly designed basic estate plan, I'm going to start breaking this up into what we're trying to accomplish. And this is one where most people, especially if you're in a state like a California or a New York, you do not want to be in probate. Probate, all probate is designed to do is to take your assets, look at your will or work at, if you don't have a will, then it's going to be based off of state law. And it's going to be the court and the judges and the attorneys that are going to help, move your assets from you because you've passed away to wherever either that will or the state law says it should go. The problem with probate is it's expensive and it's time consuming. We've got the attorneys and courts involved, and depending on the state you're in, that can be a very, very lengthy time process. And so if we're looking at it, we want to use a revocable living trust as the backbone of our basic estate plan, the very start. And if we can use that revocable living trust, we're going to, set up the trust based on your goals and objectives, and then we're going to get your assets moved out of your personal name into the trust. So your home, your bank accounts, those types of assets need to be moved into the trust. So when you pass away, we don't have a probate problem. It's just easily moving one from one person to the next, which leads us right into the next part of this. Who is going to be in control of your plan and your assets? During your life, if we've got the revocable living trust set up, you will be the trustee as long as you have the mental capacity and the desire to manage your assets, you're in control. It's revocable, so if you want to change your mind, you can change your mind at any time, but you will continue to control your assets as long as you are able, willing, and have the desire to manage those assets. When you are ready, to pass that on, or you lose mental capacity or pass on, then we have to have successor trustees in place to take over that. And we'll have a trustee and executor for your will, just in case we need it. If you have children, we want to have a guardian in place that the court can appoint the guardian that you want to control your kids and have personal responsibility for your kids, and maybe a conservator if needed to oversee that. So all of these fiduciary responsibilities are going to be the people you choose now, and then you can update that as you go. Now that we've got the mechanisms in place with that revocable living trust, now we can start creating the legacy. What do you want to be remembered for? What actions do you want to encourage? Do you want to encourage your kids to go to college, go to trade school, go to graduate school, own a home, be able to have the money to buy a home? Do you want to discourage them from using your money for a drug habit? Whatever it is that you want to create your legacy, you can hand your kids all the money and hope that it works out, or you can give them the direction they need and deal with them the way that you would be as a parent if you were still there. So you can do it for your children, your grandchildren. You can create a charitable legacy. You can create whatever you want it to be. It's your money. How do you want it to be used? Finally, we're going to look at how can we reduce your taxes. Taxes are always a big thing. And in the estate planning, we want to look at reducing your income tax, your estate tax, generation skipping tax. All of these things are a reduction in your tax to move that legacy to the people or charities or whoever it is that you want to benefit. But it takes planning. This is just the beginning. This is the estate planning 101. Get this in place so that you can know that the umbrella's over your estate. If you've got a bigger estate or more complex asset, and asset holding types of entities, We might have to do other planning, more irrevocable trust, but get the revocable living trust plan done and be able to move forward with that. So I appreciate everybody getting on. If you have questions, always reach out. And if not, we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.